What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market got completely crushed today, guys. S&P 500 down 32 points, down about 1%. The Dow Jones down 134 points, down about 0.5%. And the NASDAQ 100 is where a lot of the red was. Tech did not do well today. NASDAQ 100 down almost 3%, down about 330 points on the day. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the markets a bit further, doing some technical analysis, and I also want to share with you guys what are the top stocks that I'm looking to buy right now in October. And we're also going to go over some breaking news here. We obviously saw Trump, the president here of the U.S., and the First Lady, they both have the virus, so we're going to go over that, the implications of that, and the stock market. We're also going to break down September jobs report numbers, stimulus, what I personally did here in the markets, and my thoughts in general. So a lot to talk about in this video. We're going to jam it into about 25 minutes. We'll try to, at least. So if you guys find value, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out all the free links down below if you guys want to join the Strive Smart community, our Discord, our Facebook group, and if you guys want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,600, those are also linked right down below. And did I mention all of those links are free? So yeah, go take advantage of those right down below in the description box. So let's get into it. Let's get started. And let me tell you guys, it was a roller coaster today, a roller coaster ride in the stock market. And all of you know that, especially if you were following it. First and foremost, overnight, we got a tweet from the president that him and the First Lady, Melania Trump, they both tested positive for you-know-what, right? And they had mild symptoms and a mild case, at least right now, of you-know-what, the virus. And this, out of nowhere, dropped the markets. And I expected that. Obviously, you'd expect that if an unexpected event occurs, the markets are going to take a hit. And in this case, since it happened overnight, the futures market took a massive hit. Take a look here. And by the way, I was sleeping at this point, and I found out, believe it or not, as I woke up in the middle of the night, I went to the bathroom, got some water or whatever, and I looked at my phone and I saw the news and I was like, oh man, this is not good. The market probably is going to be down a lot. And lo and behold, take a look here. The ES, the E-mini S&P, when that news came out at about 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, it dropped like a brick from 3360 to about 3,300 in the first 40 minutes of that news coming out. And that is a drop of over, or maybe right around 2%, in the snap of a finger. And we ultimately recovered from there, but it's just not good. This is not a good sign. Well, it's obviously not good. Anybody that gets this virus, it's not good. I mean, prayers to everybody. But with everything going on with the markets right now, all of these moving variables, this is not a good thing to add onto that, if that makes any sense, right? Because all this is going to do is add more uncertainty, more volatility into the market. And again, with everything going on now, with stimulus not going through yet, the election, now this, it's going to make the markets a bit tricky. So we saw the drop at first. It's recovering. Well, it recovered from there for the most part. But going back to the S&P 500, and we'll talk a little bit more about the whole CV with the president here in a second, the S&P was all over the place today. We gapped down, we moved back up, pretty much filling almost the entire gap. We gapped down again, popped back up. So we were very volatile up and down today. The VIX was actually up about 93.93 here, so a nice day for the VIX. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, the VIX is the fear index, the volatility index. When this is up, that means there's a lot of volatility, there's fear in the market. And earlier today, it was actually almost at 30, the VIX here, at about 29.9. And we did see a drop throughout the day, which is a good sign, I guess, for the fear index, it going down. But overall, it still went up about 3.5% on the day. And back to the S&P, let's take a look at some technicals, right? We can clearly see we failed breaking out of yesterday's high and the day before that, right around 3380. And we ended up selling off, but we did hold 33.30. And we've been talking about these levels, right? 33.80 on the upside, that's a resistance right now. 33.30 is a support. So at this point, the S&P 500 is moving range bound. It's in a range. And until we break either that support or the resistance, it's going to be difficult in the short term to really pinpoint the direction that we're going to go. And arguably, you can say that in the short term, the bulls are still in charge, as we are maintaining moving averages here on the hourly chart as a support. You guys can see it here. We actually held above those moving averages and the main support at 33.30. So that is a good sign for the bulls in the short term. But the second that we take 33.30 out on the bottom side, if that happens next week, that's not going to be good for the bulls at all. So at this point, I'm pretty worried. I mean, not that I'm like, oh my goodness, the world's ending, because it's not. It's not ending. And the last thing you want to do is get into the stock market with emotions. But what's going on right now with the president, it worries me a little bit. You know, it has me a bit uneasy, and a lot of people out there are feeling the same way, quite honestly, as it's going to affect a lot of things moving forward. And the Dow Jones here, let's break down some technicals on this very quickly. It ended up holding 27,500, which is good for the bulls here on the hourly chart. We're maintaining both moving averages here on the hourly chart as well, but like the S&P, it's range bound. 27.5 on the bottom side support, 28,200 on the upside of resistance. So until we break either of those, whether it's on the upside or the downside, direction in the short term is going to be difficult to determine. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ, this got decimated, right? And we talked about, and we've been talking about 11,500 here on the NASDAQ 100 as a big level of resistance. And what do you know? We got hit there very aggressively. We did break out of it yesterday. We closed above it, but it didn't last long. We got rejected. Now we're heading back down, it seems like, to the support, which is around 11,000. So for this week, watch out. What does the NASDAQ 100 do? It's trading between 11,000 and 11,500. If we break either of those areas, that's going to determine direction. And at this point, I mean, you could argue this is actually, it kind of does look like a reverse head and shoulder as well. Kind of left shoulder here, head here, right shoulder. So this could end up playing out potentially as a breakout, maybe. That's if we break 11,500. And obviously, we need a couple more days of trading, some more data to pull into the ThinkOrSwim here to see what it's going to look like. So until then, guys, we're range bound, trading between 11 and 11,500 here on the NASDAQ 100. So overall, the market's all over the place, right? And let's get deeper into what happened here with the CV and some interesting facts of what's going to come here in the next couple of days. So both the president and the first lady confirmed positive, like we said, and they both have a mild case of this CV as of right now, but it's a bit more difficult for the president. I think Melania, I don't know how old she is. I think she might be in her 50s, but President Trump, he's 74 years old. He's 6'4", 6'3", 245 pounds, and I don't know if he's obese, but he might be. I think he is a little bit overweight. I don't know if he's 100% obese or not. We'll see. I guess we'll see if that comes out. But one thing we do know is this CV, it's more dangerous for people over 70 and for people that already have underlying conditions, right, and comorbidities. So that's a bit scary. And we all know at this point, not to get political, but there's a debate in the next 2 weeks. And at this point, he's going to have to quarantine for 10 to 14 days, as the CDC suggests. And I don't know if he'll be able to do the next debate. Who knows what's going to end up happening with that? But let's say it's a mild case. It remains that way. it could end up going away in a couple of days, 5-6 days. I mean, we've seen people overcome this in a couple of days, and we've seen some people it takes a much longer time than that. So at this point, we just have to see how it pans out. We have to give it a couple of days. And it's funny, I mean, I think my girlfriend just texted me that a couple minutes ago, before I ended up starting this video, that he's actually going to the hospital right now. This is on an article from USA Today. He's actually going to the hospital in what's the name of this hospital? I'm not too sure, but at this point, he's going right now on. And this could be a sign that maybe it's getting worse, or maybe they're just taking him there to contain it a bit more, maybe just treat him better. I don't know. But at this point, there's a lot of unknowns, uncertainties, and this is going to be rattling the markets, no doubt about it, at least for this next week. And we also got jobs report numbers here. 661,000 jobs were added in September. That is pushing the unemployment rate down to 7.9%. And it's crazy. It's come a long way. A couple months ago, about 2-3 months ago, maybe longer than that at this point, the unemployment rate was around 14%. I think the worst it got was like 14.7 or something like that. Now we've almost cut that in half, down to about 7.9. So we're making progress in jobs and getting back to where we were, bringing that unemployment rate down. But like we go over every Thursday, there's still over 800,000 people, and in some cases, a couple weeks ago, over millions of people every week filing for these jobless claims numbers. So yeah, jobs are being added, unemployment rates going down, but we still have a lot of people in America and around the world at that are struggling still, which puts the economy in just a really funky scenario. And stimulus, and like I said, guys, there's so many moving parts with president and the jobs report, jobless claims, election, and now we have the stimulus, and it's not looking like it's passing quite yet. The House of Representatives, which is controlled by the Democrats, voted on a stimulus package called, I believe, HEROES Act 2.0, and it passed. It's $2.2 trillion, but now $2.2 trillion that is, and now it has to go through the Senate, and the Senate, it's not going to pass it, and the Senate's controlled by the Republicans, and they have to vote on it. And at this point right now that I'm filming this video, the Senate is saying that the package is way too expensive. And speaking about, obviously Democrats, they want bigger government, they want more stimulus, and the Republicans are the opposite, which is why they're on the opposite sides of the spectrum, and they're working together to come to an agreement. So the Democrats, $2.2 trillion, the Republicans are saying, nope, that is too much. We're not even going to vote on it. So at this point, do they get into an agreement this weekend, at some point next week? It's possible, but it's also possible that this might get pushed back further, and we'll see. Time will tell. So overall, that's what's going on, in terms of the market, some updates, some technicals here, and just everything going on. I'd love to know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Now, let's just run through a bunch of other stocks, what I personally did today in the markets, and let's just talk about it. So Tesla, I ended up buying into Tesla today, and this ended up being initially now it's looking like a bad move, because I got in at get this, guys, 436. And like I said on this channel, I say this all the time, you don't win every move. It's impossible. Sometimes you time it perfectly. You get in at the bottom, you sell at the top. Sometimes it happens, but other times it works against you, where you get in at the very top and it goes down right away. And that's exactly what happened to me today. I literally got into Tesla at 436 right before it got rejected and tanked all the way to where it is right now at 408. And I actually ended up cutting my losses there at about I think it was close to 2%. So I think it was right around 420 I cut losses from 436. Yeah, a little bit over 2% of a loss there. So I got out of Tesla on this complete bull trap fake out move. I got faked out, so I took a loss there on Tesla. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest, guys, and I feel comfortable taking that loss, especially with everything going on right now heading into the weekend. And I actually also added to my position in WKHS, which also was a little bit of a premature buy. I mean, this is a swing trade, so I'm not sweating it. I just wanted to add a little bit more to my position, and I bought in around $24.50. I think it was earlier in the day, right around the same time I bought Tesla. I bought Workhorse as well, but Tesla, I was more looking to day trade it, so I sold out of that, but Workhorse is a swing trade, so again, that's a reason why I'm not sweating it, that it's down about $1 from where I bought in today. So overall, I'm in Workhorse roughly at about $24-ish. That's my average cost, so I'm down a little bit. I sold out of Tesla there for a loss, and I'm still in AMD, but luckily, and this is why I love locking in profits, luckily I locked in profits yesterday. Take a look here at AMD. I got in initially at 82.25. Yesterday I sold out at about, I think, 84. Let me check my notes here, guys. Yeah, 84.50 I sold out, so that was a nice little gain. I sold out half of my position, let the other half ride into today, and now I lost about 3.6% on what I could have locked in yesterday, and that's just the nature of the game, guys, and why I always talk about it's important to lock in profits because you never know what's going to happen the next day. So at this point, I'm still holding AMD. I'm down a little bit on that, but I'm not sweating it because I locked in some profits yesterday, and this is a longer-term swing trade for me, and same with the other two I'm in. I'm still in EA here, Electronic Arts, and at about 131.20. This one got hit hard today. A lot of video game stocks got crushed, and again, a lot of the tech stocks got crushed today, so I'm still holding EA, and I'm still holding Apple as well, which I'm in at about 115. Excuse me, guys. This one was down about 3.2%. It's trading at about 113 right now. So overall, that's what I'm involved with. AMD, EA, Apple, Workhorse, Tesla. I got in, took a little loss. That's all I did today. Let me know down below in the comments. What are your thoughts? What are you guys up to? Now, let's talk about, well, now that we're just talking about Tesla, might as well talk about what they did when it comes to delivery numbers. And I told you guys, watch out Friday for delivery numbers on Tesla, and it seems like it was a classic case of buy the rumor, sell the news. But you could argue that the market as a whole had some negative pressure on Tesla. So, I mean, you could argue that people bought up the rumor of good delivery numbers, sold the news. But, again, the markets pushed down the stock as well because we saw an overall sell-off. So, whatever you want to call it, Tesla sold off today. But they had good numbers. Tesla said it delivered 139,300 vehicles in the third quarter this year. According to a survey of analysts by FactSet, as of Wednesday, analysts expected deliveries of around 137,000 vehicles, and their estimates range from 123,000 to about 147,000 on the high end. So they did well there, 139,000 compared to those estimates. I'd say that is strong. So Tesla ended up selling off on this news, and it also got rejected at $450, which is not good. We talked about that yesterday and in recent videos. It needs to break $450 for it to see more upside and more momentum, at least for my personal analysis here. But Tesla is not doomed by any means. It sold off today, but it's still out of this wedge, which is bullish, right? It's still holding a higher low at this point on this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. So we could very well bounce back next week at some point, and I'm watching it exactly for that. And NEO stock also had pretty solid delivery numbers for the 3 quarters ending, or the 3 months ending September. They had delivered 12,206 vehicles in the last. Wait, is that the last quarter? Yes, last quarter. Up 154.3% year over year. So talk about growth, man. I'm loving that on NEO. But I shared this, and I'm throwing in a but here. because, yeah, the numbers are great, but NEO is arguably getting a bit overbought right now. And I shared this chart in the Discord, which again is free, linked down below. Make sure to go join that. I shared this chart. Take a look at what happened. Last time we saw a massive move to the upside on NEO from 15 to about 21. We consolidated a bit and formed into this bullish wedge. Then we ultimately saw another big rally, which we just saw a couple days ago. Now, take a look. Are we going to do exactly what we just did? Kind of sell off for a little bit, consolidate into this next bullish wedge at about 20 bucks and then break out? I think that's possible. I think that's possible here in the short term, and it seems like NEO is shaping up for a sell-off. I mean, we really haven't broken the resistance here in the past 2 days of trading. It's moving downwards, but then again, it's also holding $20.80 like a brick wall. So I think if $20.80 breaks, which could be tested here next week at some point. I mean, it's already selling off after hours here on Friday. So if that breaks $20.80, I think NEO could be going lower. I mean, I'd love to see it go down to even $19, maybe even the mid-19s. I think that is where we'll start to get an attractive price in the short term here on NEO. And a couple of other ones here. We had HYLM, which is Helion, guys, finally convert to its new ticker symbol, which is HYLN. It was previously SH, actually, SHLL. It was under Tortoise Acquisition Group, SHIL, SHLL. But now on October 2nd, it officially went to HYLN. So at this point, guys, it's down 12%. It hit 45 bucks, so it was very volatile here on the intraday chart. You guys can see it. It hit $45 earlier, went down to 37, 38, rallied back up to 42. Now it's at about 39 after hours. So watch out for Helion here, what it's going to do. I'm very excited about this company and just in general to watch the stock. I'm not necessarily going to invest in it quite yet, but I'm excited about new type of, next generation type of companies. And I think Helion could definitely be one of those at this point. We'll see if they execute and so forth. That's very important, but they have a big vision. So I like this. I'm going to watch it. And if we're able to make a move from 40 bucks, hold 40, maybe we could see a move back up to the mid 40s. And we had Virgin Galactic today look very good, up 3%. One of the only green stocks here on my watch list, up 60 cents. And it seems like we're solidifying 19 bucks as a support now, guys. But we failed breaking out of 21, and we're down pretty big here, about 50 cents after hours, pretty much giving up all of the gains from today. So that's a bit worrisome to me that we're failing at $21. So watch out next week. Virgin Galactic around 21. If we break, that could be a massive move there. And I haven't talked about gold and silver in a while, but if we get a stimulus package at some point, which we will, in my opinion, the question is when, I think precious metals are going to do well. And all these precious metals, well, two of the main ones I follow, silver and gold, they're down a good amount from their peaks recently. Silver here is down from almost $30 an ounce down to about $23 an ounce. It's holding the uptrend here on the 4-hour chart. It seems like it's recovering. So I'm really interested in silver, buying maybe some physical silver, but more importantly, tradable silver, a paper asset where you can just trade it on Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, wherever you want. You could trade SLV, which is very similar to buying physical silver, but it's an ETF that just tracks the price of silver, right? So SLV goes up whenever silver goes up. And take a look. The chart is pretty much identical to silver, right? Take a look at SI here, which is the silver futures, and then take a look at SLV. It's pretty much the same thing. So I think if we get this massive amount of money printing, obviously asset prices, stocks, real estate, they'll do well. And I also think gold and silver will do well since a lot of people flood into those assets to hedge against a weakening dollar, right? So watch out for silver, SLV, and also gold/GC. which is also down a good chunk from its high, down about $200, down about 9% an ounce. So watch out for gold. And the one I like to trade when it comes to gold is GLD, which is an ETF that strictly tracks the price of gold. It goes up whenever gold goes up. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. A lot of jam-packed info in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on everything going on. I think we better strap our seatbelts up. It's going to be rocky here moving forward, especially with everything going on. So if you guys found value, hit that like, consider subscribing. Don't even consider it, just do it. Subscribe to the channel and check out all the free links down below if you guys want to join our Discord, our Facebook, and if you guys want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,600, all you have to do is deposit $100 using my link down below. You get 2 free stocks, and I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Be safe out there. That's very important in these time periods, so be safe out there. Also, have a great weekend. I'll catch you all. Thanks for watching. As always, peace out.